This session is intended for the reviewers of the final negotiations bid responses. This includes the Avalon Bay project team construction administrators, project engineers, assistant project managers, and project managers. The bid award record has a few purposes. First, it's used as a Class 2 update or a Class 3 bid package when you're at your final round of RFPs or requests for proposal. When you submit the record, you'll send it out to bid, which kicks off the bid invitation and emails the vendors. If you're reviewing this video, you've likely completed this step. Second, the bid award record is used for collecting the bid response records from the vendors. And third, the bid award record will route when appropriate for approval before going to contract. This session will focus on reviewing the bid responses themselves. Whenever a vendor completes the bid response record, you'll receive a notification email. Within the email, you'll find a link, and you can click into this link and enter your credentials to log in and take a look at this response. You can also just log in directly to iBeam by utilizing the URL. Here on the Project tab, there are two places to find the bid responses. The first is under Project Bids, Responses and Questions, Bid Response. In this view, you're able to see who has responded, what the status is, and if they've already presented their numbers. For our purposes, we're going to take a look at the bid award record itself. Still under Project Bids, this time we'll go to Bid Information, Bid Awards. And here's our electrical bid package bid award record. We can see it's still out to bid, and we'll double-click to look in. First, you'll want to go to the lower form of the bid award record. Here you'll notice the following tabs that were created when you sent the record out to bid. But first, let's take a look at the bidders list. These are the vendor users that were sent bid invitations and for whom the bid response records were created. Those bid response records are found right here on the Pre-Award Response tab. In this example, we can see the vendor, vendor decision, and vendor response as well as the status. Let's click into one to learn more. As a reminder, you can always find the written instructions by coming to Help and Bid Response Help. If you're responsible for managing these responses versus just viewing the responses, first you'll click on Accept Task. Within the record, you can expand the upper form by clicking here on the tab name. You'll see any bidder comments right here. As we scroll down, you'll also find their vendor pre-qualification exceptions answers. Be sure to review and correct this section as necessary. For example, if you see that they had marked that their bid was either less than $500,000 or that the vendor would not be performing on-site installation when you know they will, then you can simply change this answer. Why is this important? Because if you intend to award the vendor the contract, these answers must be accurate. The reason for this is that whether or not the system kicks off an automated pre-qual record is dependent on these answers. If, per policy, the vendor is required to complete the pre-qual process, then once you close this record, they'll receive an email notification and a new task to complete that pre-qual process. So as an example, for a new construction project, when the answer to this question is yes, they will receive that pre-qual record. Now let's look at their bid numbers. We'll click on Bid Scope to view these per item. You can also look at the attachments found in the lower left-hand side, shown here. Next, on the Alternates tab, you can look and see if they've responded to or added any alternates. Next, we'll see if there are any open bid RFIs before moving forward. We want to make sure these have all been addressed so the vendor's response is with the resulting information. Now you have a few options. If you need to, you can send the record back to the vendor for clarification. To do this, first you'll want to make sure that you come down to General Comments, click Add, and then enter your comments or your question. Next, click OK. And when you're done, you can close the window. Now we can see that there's a little chat head next to the general comments. For the next part, I'll display the action details. When we come up to our workflow actions on the top right-hand side, we have the option of returning this to the bidder. When you select this option, notice that it will automatically go back to the vendor once you click Send. You also have the option of clicking Cancel, and this will send the record directly to End. And finally is this Close Bid Response. That means that you accept the information as it is, and you don't plan to send it back to the vendor for any further negotiations. So, if you're satisfied with the response, don't have any questions, and you don't anticipate the vendor needing to adjust any of their numbers, you can click on Close Bid Response and then click Send. Once you do this, the record will not be editable. Keep in mind, if you plan to award the bidder the contract, you must complete this step before moving forward in the bid award record. To learn about pulling the bid analysis summary or forwarding the bid award record to the next step, watch more videos from our series. For assistance, please either refer to the written instructions or contact support at either extension 3000 or our toll-free line.